Good morning. Hopefully, we are here talking with our head teachers on the first day back. This is a new piece of technology that we're trying today, so I can't trust Teams to show me that you're all there, but I'm trusting that everybody's there, back to work on day one, and I'd like to wish you a very, very warm welcome back to this new 2024-25 session, which is quite scary to be thinking that's our year. Can I start by saying a particular welcome to some colleagues joining us for the first time at our head teacher cohort. I thought I was on a roll here. We have three Emmas joining us: Emma from Berwickshire High, Emma from Sturches, and Emma from Newtown and St Boswells. And then to break the run of Emmas, Leslie at St Ronan's and Walkerburn, and Louisa at Lauder. So thank you all very much indeed for stepping in and leading these schools as we embark on this new session. It's always fantastic at the beginning of a new term to have the opportunity to reset, to start again, and to be able to continue the journey that we're on of achieving great things. And although I've not had the summer holiday, many of us will think, have anybody had a summer holiday given the weather as it's been? I still felt that sense of resetting and restarting and the excitement of something new last night. So it's great to be back. As you'll know, there's always going to be some expectation management in our messaging at this time in the year, and we know that there are some really positive actions happening in our schools every single day, and I hope that you realise that we do want to recognise that every single day. But there are some challenges going to be coming our way this session, and it's important that we start off by having an understanding of what some of those are. We know over the past few years there's been an increasing need in our schools, and the challenges that we face around the attainment gap and the national messaging that's coming out around that are certainly going to be headlines for us this session. The financial landscape as we go into this new session remains a huge challenge for us, and although as an organisation Scottish Borders are in a much stronger position than many neighbouring authorities or authorities across Scotland, we recognise that there are huge challenges in meeting our financial fiscal position. The increased need that we have in our schools and the number of young people who are not able to sustain living and learning in the Borders are key influencers on the financial position that we face, and the opportunities that we have to make a difference in this field must be embraced. We can influence how we meet the challenge of this, and we have the opportunities of our cluster model, which is now fully embedded, and we'll be talking a bit more about that when Justin takes over. But we also have our children and young people services model, which gives us great opportunity to focus on the early intervention and prevention works that are going to make a difference to put us in a more fiscally sustainable position. So we all this year need to take responsibility to work together and respond to the challenges that we know we're going to face. That is going to be our agenda in the coming weeks. This week, however, is about the new session in your new schools and whether you're welcoming new colleagues, new primary ones, new first years. Enjoy the week, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks. I'm going to pass over to Justin. I think he's going to take over on this, or to James.
Just pick PowerPoint. Yeah.
To take over here, but I look forward to seeing you all this term. Thanks, folks.
Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome virtually here from Inspire Tweed Bank. We are down here with the education team doing our inset day this morning. But as Leslie said, a warm welcome back to work this morning on an awfully dreek day, a rainy day after all that beautiful weather. But I'm sure it's shining in your schools and settings this morning, ready for the new term. I remember this well. A few years ago, I'd be at Earlston giving my opening talk to colleagues after the break, and I know there's a mix of emotions. Some people are knackered because they've not been up this early in a while. Some folk can't wait to get started, and others are just waiting to be inspired today and tomorrow, ready for the challenges of the new term. Just following on the theme from last time we came together, as Leslie said, a huge welcome to all our new colleagues. So if you're sitting there and don't know who I am, I'm Justin Sinclair. I'm the Chief Education Officer, Head of Service here in the Scottish Borders, and a warm welcome to each and every one of you, to the family that is SBC. You will hear me talk a lot about one team, and that's because I believe in it. I believe that when every single one of us does that good, we overwhelm the system, and that's what we're about. Each and every one of us playing our role, our part in transforming the education service. Why? Because in doing that, we make a fundamental difference to the children, the young people, and the families in our care. Please never underestimate your individual importance. You are important. You do a very noble job in your settings and your schools, and we need you. We need you. We know the levels of challenge that are out there. We know the expectations that are put on us all. But I genuinely believe, knowing the talent, the skills, and the motivated workforce that we've got, we can do it. But we'll only achieve it together. And you know that in your small teams or in your setting or your school and your wider teams, and it's been part of SBC, that when everyone plays their part, when everyone's solution focused, when everyone's optimistic and positive and doing their level best to make a difference, it can be transformational. So the one thing on this rainy morning, if I can ask you to do one thing, start this term solution focused. I don't downplay or underestimate the challenges. Leslie made reference to finance. I know the societal issues that we face. I don't downplay them, and I don't underestimate the challenges. I really don't. But I do ask you to start today being solution focused, optimistic about the future, and believing in each other, that collectively we can do this and we can make a real difference to those children and young people. So first of all, as usual, thank you. Thank you for what you're about to do, because I know the minute the youngsters are back, it's full pelt again. So please, over the next couple of days, give yourself that opportunity to reconnect and to prepare yourself for this new term. Now, I start with quite a challenge. For all that I'm saying, there are issues. I think we're an authority on the move, and we're an authority that makes no apologies for our high expectations of each other. And the two key outcomes that we are focusing on over the next 3 years, okay, the two main outcomes we're focusing on the next 3 years in phase 2 of our education service delivery plan is in inspections. We're aiming for very good and excellent across all settings and all schools. And all of our professional learning and all the work that we will do together will be to build capacity, to scaffold, and to exemplify what that looks like. So that is a very, very ambitious stretch aim, but I think we can do it. Because we have, and what I found in my years in Scottish Borders, we have a workforce that are passionate about this community. They're passionate about often where they live, and they're passionate about Scottish Borders being on the map as some of the most sector leading best practice in the country. And I think people can learn from us. So that's our first stretch aim. Why a result? Well, because a very good and excellent quantifies all the work of a school in terms of your learning and teaching, in terms of your curriculum, those pathways for every single young person, inclusion, making sure that every young person, every child feels part of the family, of the setting that they're in or the school that they're in, that they're attaining, that they are achieving, that they're being nurtured. All of that, all of our QIs conflate to a grade. And that grade on its own really sums up at a given point in time where our school, where our settings are. So that's why it may sound a bit crude as a measure, but actually it encompasses all the QIs, because as we know, they may only inspect on 2 QIs or 4 QIs, but it's the totality of the QIs that really they're taking a snapshot of. So very good and excellent over the next 3 years. So wherever you're setting our schools at on that journey, it's now about us having a real clear strategic plan and focus on the next 3 years. The second is attainment and achievement. We want every child, every young person to have success. As an adult, I've said before, we all like to experience success. When we're not experiencing success, we're not our best. I want every child and every young person to experience that success. And the measures are through attainment and achievement. So what I'm asking is that over the next 3 years, we have robust plans to make sure that every child, every young person is attaining in line or above their virtual comparator in every metric. And we've got a 3-year plan and a 3-year time frame to get there. But again, we've got to all do everything that we can individually and collectively to achieve this outcome. So inspection grades, very good and excellent, and achievement and attainment in line or above our virtual comparator. You're probably sitting looking at me going, this is the first day back and he's given us these stretch aims. Yes, I'm giving them today, but it's 3 years. We've got 3 years, so don't worry, you don't have to do this by the end of today, right? We've got 3 years in which to achieve this. So part of the planning that is underway that will help us achieve this, okay, we've 4 main types of activity. One is our team around the cluster. The structures are in place, but we need to really push, and it's an open door with all our partners to make sure that that multi-agency partnership approach around our clusters, okay, that huddle around those children, young people and families. So again, a lot of work this year to build on that team around the cluster in terms of that multi-agency approach. Our next is to pull together all the disparate teams, okay, into the Pedagogy Inspire team. And that means all those that are maybe partly school-based, but partly not, those that are not school-based in the education team, we're bringing together all those different strands, okay, from Inspire, from the curricular team, from the outdoor learning, the STEM, sustainability, youth participation, all the different bits into one cohesive Pedagogy Inspire team. And their job is to help you in settings and schools on that improvement journey. So that really expert team brings together people who will support settings and schools moving forward. So multi-agency around team around the cluster, the Pedagogy Inspire team that's there to support the settings in the schools, and then our new community of practice. In old money, working parties, right? But these are our communities of practice that pull together, if you think of a working party, relevant people from different fields and expertise to look at a problem and come up with a solution. So our big communities of practice this year, transforming the BGE across all our schools and settings, okay, across the piece. So again, we've done a lot of work in terms of early, first and second, third and fourth level now, and not just numeracy and literacy. We need consistency, we need clarity across all curricular areas, right up to the end of S3. So a huge corporate piece of work that you will be involved in at many different parts of the system, okay, to contribute to that. Transforming the senior phase, making sure the curriculum is fit for purpose, making sure the pathways are right for every single child, not just the critical mass. Okay, it's making sure the curriculum meets the needs of every child in your school. So again, it's looking at those pathways, how together across the 9 can we work together to create that wide offering across the entirety of the border. So again, transforming the senior phase, our new leadership academy that's looking at those that are looking to almost fast track into headship. How do we support you? For those that are looking in terms of professional learning at every single level within the system, a one-stop shop, the Leadership Academy, that is for all. So again, I'll be asking some of you to be part of developing that over the next 3 years. We then have the DSM scheme, the revised scheme. We're now in year 3. So again, I'll be asking a group to form a community of practice to now look at the new DSM scheme for 25-26. Finally, because I do like doing lots, right? Finally, we're reviewing, tracking and monitoring across the authority. We're now implementing those working parties, those communities of practice that finished last year. So those recommendations will be enacted. And we're looking at mental health and wellbeing across the curriculum, but also in terms of that targeted support as well. So finally, the breakthrough curriculum. So the two things, team around the cluster, that's our delivery model. That's what we need to really ensure the multi-agencies around, and our SBC way. And part of our SBC way is that breakthrough curriculum. As I've said, early first, second, lots of work, starting at third and fourth level in terms of numeracy and literacy, but it needs to be broader than that. We need that clarity, that precision, so that when I'm looking, quite frankly, at attainment across every secondary school, that I've got comparable data when I'm looking at that. So we need that precision and that consistency and that clarity. So that is the next phase. So team around the cluster. And secondly, we've got our SBC way. And one aspect of the SBC way is that breakthrough curriculum. Now, I know I have shared an awful lot. So forget all that for a second. And my parting message is just going to be, please look after yourself. I know it doesn't always feel it because we're all in different locations, but we are part of one team. SBC is one team. They're all our children, and we're all doing everything we can to make a difference. So please, if you're new or you don't always feel connected, know that you are part of this greater family that is SBC. Please look after yourself and give it your all, because the noble work that we do does change lives. So thank you. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you're about to do. And it's 11:21, which gives you 9 minutes back. So just say to your head teacher, Justin says, we've got 9 minutes to ourselves. Okay, listen, have a great day, great start to the new term, and lovely seeing you all. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye for now.